have any practices or recommendations to improve visualization ability in the third eye? I can connect with energies and I see lights and colors, but I'm a step away from seeing more. Well, in Kundalini development and the third eye development, seeing colors is absolutely great. It's amazing. Having the colors change is actually amazing. There are many people that when they close their eyes, they actually cannot see. They actually cannot see colors at all. They can't really see anything. It's just black. So know that if you're seeing colors, it's actually really good. Allow the colors to shift, allow the colors to change. One exercise that's really good is just allow the color to just form a ring or a circle and just have the circle move. I also teach a more advanced exercise in my intuition development courses where we build a rainbow in our mind because every ray of color is significant. And way back in the day when you used to see the old spiritualist circles, they had very traditional development techniques. And one of those techniques was actually to just visualize each color and just hold each color in your mind and don't let the color change and just try to build up the intensity of the color. And sometimes you can even make, I talk about this with my students in my classes, is you can actually make like a little ribbon. It's kind of like a keychain, but it's like you take all the different colors of the rainbow, even like brown or whatever you want, and you kind of pin it together in like a ribbon, in like a little ribbon book like this. And you just kind of hold each color. Say you're working with red, and you just hold the red color of the ribbon and you just feel it and you feel what it represents. And then you look at it and then you immediately visualize it. And when you lose it, you visualize it again. And that's a really good exercise because every single color of the rainbow is a ray of consciousness and has a meaning. So we usually work with the rainbow. And another really popular one that is a bit more advanced is a flower, is to build a flower or build a lotus. But what happens with the direct development of the third eye is that a lot of people find that they can only build this is like me. You can only build like half of the flower in your mind or like half of a rainbow, and it's like falling out of focus because usually when we try to do something is when we can't do anything with intuition. So my last tip for intuition development, and this is also what I have a forum post on this actually in Gigi, is that you want to feel the flower. You want to feel the circle. You want to feel the color red. You want to feel the color purple. You want to feel whatever you're trying to visualize, and it's funny how fast you'll visualize it. So it's not actually about trying to visualize and like draw a flower in your mind or draw a circle or draw a shape and hold it. That's kind of a very masculine way of doing things. And with intuition development, it's often very feminine in how it really gets going. And then the masculine is used a bit more to craft or shape the energy. So what I would say is experiment with feeling what a flower is. And a lot of psychics actually have synesthesia, which is when you see the number 8 and it's also the color purple and it's also the smell of a lilac. And the reason why intuitives have that is because all intuition is sort of this sort of interconnectivity system that you can read. It's the interconnectivity of symbols that have deep meaning to you that you can read. And so it's actually, and also a lot of the times with intuitive information, you first get it as a feeling. not even necessarily like an emotional feeling, but it comes across, it's a feeling first, and then it'll flip into a vision, and then it'll flip into a knowing, or then it'll kind of scatter into one of the clairs that you have developed. But that's what I would resonate. And if any of you guys want to know more about intuition development, I do teach this. I teach this on my website, and I have 2 courses. One that is more basic, one is more advanced, and I also have intuitive protection. So that has the basics of it all in there. All right, and also lots of forums with students developing, and these discussions are had and things like that. All right, this one is from Serena Moon. I experience something as if I am lucid dreaming randomly while awake. It's disorienting. It feels like dreams playing out in my head while awake. Feels like third eye stuff. Any ideas? That definitely sounds like third eye stuff. And what will happen when you start to develop your psychic ability is that it'll just start functioning with you while you're living your life. So one of the main things to understand when you develop your third eye and when you develop your intuition is that intuition development and psychic awakening is not an accessory, in the sense that it's not something that we can really turn off. It is literally the regaining of a capacity that helps you live a much better life, or a capacity that we lost. So when you develop your psychic ability, you just get amplified senses, and you'll go through periods where that psychic ability is literally merging with your daily experience, and it can be like you are on a mild or more intense DMT trip or LSD trip. And that's what happens when your third eye starts to normalize. And it doesn't just turn on like a car only when you want it. It begins to overlay your life. But there will be a period where it's kind of functioning parallel to your everyday life. And this is where you can start kind of almost lucid dreaming, or you'll get past life bleed throughs, or you'll get these very unusual psychic experiences while you're doing an activity. That's just because your third eye is awakening and it's starting to overlay with your regular life. Now it will level out, and it will make it so it's not distracting, especially if you just keep bringing it back to the task that you're on. That's a big trick. You want to keep bringing it back to the present moment, back to the present time, and train your mind into that. And then at the end of the day, what will happen is once you integrate that, the third eye will function in a very practical sense, which is that you will see truth. In a very practical sense, you'll be able to see when someone's lying, when someone's telling the truth, whether someone is in alignment or not in alignment, if there's a sickness, if they're in good health. You'll start to get that kind of overlay happening, which is more practical. And then you can flip into the more, I would say, disorienting stuff, where you could flip into a past life, or you could flip into stuff that is out of body more, out of the third dimension more. But this is absolutely part of third eye awakening. Your third eye will begin to function side by side with your vision. You will go through weird periods of time where you feel spacey. You will feel ungrounded. You may get pulled into visions. It just means that you have to bring yourself back into your body, back into this time. Allow it to kind of function in the background, but it will normalize. And you'll go through periods of your life that are like this. And it's completely, totally normal.